We are talking about the Hindu concept of Punarjanma today. So all Hindus know that we live many lives instead of only one life. We're coming to the proof in a little bit. And that we take memories and abilities from previous lives to the later one, to the one we have now, and to ones still to come. Many of us do not know there are proofs of reincarnation, Punarjanma, logical, rational, scientific, that we can verify ourselves. And you may say, how can I verify? I don't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. That's true. How do we remember past life? Our memory is very tacky. It's not easy to remember stuff. And because of that tackiness and the lack of remembrance, none of us figure out that we have been here before. I'm going to mention only 5 of those proofs today. If we say people have had previous lives, then the obvious thing to do is to let somebody who has come back from the beyond say what it was like in an earlier life. This is exactly what American psychiatrist, I believe he's Canadian actually, Ian Stevenson has done, and that is our first proof. Memories of past life from children aged 2 to 6 years old. Children as young as 2 years should not be able to make up stories of lives in places that they have never visited and give accurate names as well as descriptions. But they do. Dr. Stevenson has recorded and verified over 3,000 of such cases. It's all there on the internet, and you can read it for yourself and view the videos as well. They're all there. Like 2-year-old James Leininger from Louisiana, who remembered being shot down and killed as an American pilot in World War II, and named his Corsair aircraft the Carrier Natoma, his pilot friend Jack Larson, and the crash site Iwo Jima, all of which were shown to be true after extensive research. So these things are provable. Deja vu, or accurate knowledge of towns and villages a person has never visited. This is quite common all over the world. It's common for us too, by the way. It's common because sometimes we meet someone and take a dislike for them instantly. No reason. The person didn't say a single word, but you don't like them. On the other hand, you have love at first sight. Persons meet together, they fall head over heels in love. How is that possible? They've been together before, obviously.
DNA Pundit.
No, DNA has nothing to do with this. DNA would mean that you and your family are related, that's it.
Yeah, but what I mean is the people from past generation come along.
Oh, you believe so? Alright. This is quite common all over the world. You go to a strange place and feel that you've been there before, you've seen it before, and know the local geography like any native. There's no possibility of fraud in such cases, as a person doesn't gain anything from his knowledge. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the Trinidadian Pundit, Gopi Singh. How many people know him except around? Anybody know Gopi Singh? Yeah, you know him? No? Gopi Singh actually went to Paramaribo once only in 30 years ago. But he can take you there and take you every part of the tongue as if he's born there. That's Gopi Singh. And he's alive and he's in Toronto. You can meet him anytime. He's from Scarborough. I'll invite him one day here to give his impressions. I think we have to do that, Ram, okay? So this is Gopi Singh. Child geniuses, for instance. Very young children seem to be born with tremendous abilities that could only have come from previous lives. I will name just one, but Mozart also is one of them. I want to name somebody else today. I will name just one of these, the German baby, Akin Kamara, who began playing the violin at the age of 2 years old, while still in his diapers, and gave his first public performance at 3 years old. Many other examples can be found on the internet and also in text. Past life regression or hypnotic regression. When hypnotized, many people can remember parts of one or more previous lives, and sometimes speak words in languages they do not know in the present life that they are in. Some of these have been accurately researched and verified, including memories of lives up to 100 years ago. It takes only one verified past life regression to establish the concept as a proof of reincarnation. You don't need more than one. If one person can remember, everybody can. Therapists have been using past life regression to treat problems of phobias or obsessions, such as irrational fear of drowning or going into elevators. Some of you know that. You've met people who are afraid of going into elevators, you do? Yes? Why is it they're afraid? It's a phobia. That means they probably were buried alive in a past life somewhere and they become fearful of confined spaces. Birthmarks that correspond to injuries in past lives. Naresh Kumar was born in 1981, Uttar Pradesh, with a birthmark on his chest. And at 2 years old started saying he had been a 25-year-old Mushir Ali, who was killed in 1980 in a collision with a tractor in Lucknow district. He started speaking words in Urdu which, as Naresh, he did not know. He was taken back to his Lucknow village, which he knew very well. Identified his parents, they were still alive, and family, and even a man who owed him money in his past life, as Mushir Ali. Again, there are many examples of birthmarks traceable to incidents in previous lives which have been verified. And of course, we always use the example of the Shanti Devi. 4 years old, up to the age of 4, she was speaking, but the parents could not figure out what it was. At about 4, you begin to become more understandable. And she began to tell her parents of stuff that was happening. She's from Mathura. What was happening in Mathura from before. She never went to Mathura. Mathura is about 300 miles away from where she was. The case actually became familiar with Gandhi, and he authorized people to start to trace whether this is true or not. And with magistrates and lawyers and everything else, they made a trip to Mathura. As soon as the child reaches the train station, she directs them, take this horse-drawn cart. This one will take us to where we want to go. They got on the cart, went to where she directed the driver, came to the house. The husband, Kedarnath, was still alive. I'm calling names because these are true things. Kedarnath was still alive. And of course, when the child is saying that, well, she had another name before Shanti Devi, that I was so and so, the husband is flabbergasted. Would you believe this happened to you? Probably not. But when husband and wife have very special relationship, they know things only each other know. When she started to tell him, she says, only my wife knew that. Nobody else knows this. How is this possible? She recognized her son, still alive, but grown up. And she started telling him, when you were little, you used to do so and so and so and so. This was an accepted proof of reincarnation actually taking place. We don't need more than one to prove this. You may say, well, that's not possible. Most of us are very doubtful still. So how can I clear your doubt? I'll tell you the truth. Our memory is spotty at best. This is why kids have to study so hard for their exams. You know this, right? And still when they go in the exam, they forget. This is after the same data they studied. You who are students here, you understand that very well. When I was a student, I understand that very well too. And that happens to me even now. Because I thought I was going to say something before I started this lecture. Now it's coming back to me. I didn't start with it because I forgot. But this is how we are. We can't remember things from a few moments ago. And we are expected to remember things that happened years and years and years ago. Imagine if you're 60 years old. It means that 60 years ago before you had your past life. And nobody knows how long before that your past life existed. Because for the Hindu, if you look at the way we perform our Shraddha Karma, we remember generations 3 back. Father, grandfather, great-grandfather. Assuming this is because, assuming that up to that great-grandfather, the Atman has not yet come back into the world. It may have. And in these cases that I have mentioned, this was very quickly. So it can be quick, but not as quick as Karan Arjun from the movie. That was too fast. It takes time because suitable parentage got to be found, because depend upon the karma and the desires that we die with, those desires have to come to fruition in the life that we're going to come in. So we have to choose our parents. We choose our own parents in a situation that we think is going to bring those desires to fruition. That is why. So children who blame their parents, stop doing it. You chose those parents yourself. So if you don't find yourself in a situation where you think you can achieve, what happens eventually? We die and we continue the next one. And we shouldn't be afraid of that. I tell you this all the time. Every single generation that comes back to the next one, the life is better for them. We have a much better life than our parents. They have a better life than their parents. So we have a much, much better life than our grandparents. Let me tell you one thing. Don't take the world for granted. It's not ours to take for granted. We're borrowing it from our children and our grandchildren. So if we waste the opportunity, we're only robbing them. Just remember